Hi, I'm Dr.Karam, and I am going to take you through a case of facial rejuvenation with a patient of ours by the name of Nikki, who is 60 years old. She works in the Hollywood film industry and is full of life. When you meet her, you would have no idea that she is actually a 6-year-old woman, but her appearance does in fact show that sign. And that was her primary issue. She felt extremely young, felt full of life and energy, and had an appearance every time she looked at a photograph or looked in the mirror that did not resemble who she was internally. And as a result, she did her research and led her to me. And finally, we came together, and during our consultation, we took a look at her face, and we'll do a little analysis here in a case study, and we'll put together a good plan for her. And so what we did in her case was looking at Nikki's face from top to bottom. What you see is there's an overall change in facial shape, and that is the most important part of facial aging. What happens is the corners of the brow come down, the midface comes down, the jawline comes down, and the neck starts to get heavy and sagging. So when you look at the entire face, you see a more rectangular shape to the face as opposed to that youthful heart shape where the base of the face, the jawline and neck are very narrow and everything kind of fills in at the top. And in her case, it has that verticality to it, which is an important part of why she looks unrecognizable to herself. The other components that are equally important, but may not be as obvious, is the changes that are happening to her overall facial volume status. The areas where she's losing volume are under her eyes, she's losing it in her temples, she's losing it around her mouth, a little bit around her cheeks, and the temple area. So all of these areas begin to lose some of that precious fat as one ages, and the net effect is you look more tired and drawn. Now couple that with the changes that are happening to her actual eyelids, and then all of a sudden the net effect is somebody looks tired. They look drawn and tired. And so when we look at Nikki's eyes, we see that her upper eyelids have some excess of skin, which is making them look heavy, and her lower eyelids has puffiness from fat pushing forward on the septum wall and excess of skin. So the combination of that makes her lower lids look disorganized and tired, in combination with the volume loss, which makes it look drawn. So when you take all of these changes in their entirety, what you see is a typical aging appearance that makes a person look very different than the way they feel, especially if you're healthy and live a good lifestyle like Nikki does. So what I proposed for her was we would do a vertical restore to lift her jawline, lift her neck, lift the midface and the lateral brow all together. And what that will accomplish is creating that youthful shape that we're talking about, that youthful shape that becomes very recognizable to her. And then once we accomplish that with a vertical restore, then we're going to address the other aspects that we just discussed. We're going to restore her volume with fat transfer, filling in very gently and very meticulously all those areas that we just discussed, the eyes, the temples, the mouth, the chin region, all that gets a touch of volume to restore. Then we go in and take care of the upper lids by removing skin only. Traditional upper eyelid blepharoplasties would remove both skin, muscle, and fat, and in our case, it's just the skin. That leaves the eyes looking very much the way they always have without that change in shape or unsightly surprise look. Then with the lower eyelids, I use a technique where I go from the inside of the eyelid and remove the fat pads, and then on the outside of the eyelid I remove the skin. So the combination of skin removal and fat removal brings the eyelids back to where they were, in combination with the fat being filled into that lower eyelid region, that tear trough, which is the transition between the eyelid and the cheek. All of a sudden you see her eyelids will look very smooth and very vibrant and fresh. So now let's take a look at her before and afters next to each other. Take a look at the jawline and the neck and the midface and the overall facial shape. You can see what a bright and youthful shape she has. And a really powerful effect is the effect on the neck, which everyone despises seeing the sagging and the aging happening in the neck. And in her case, you can see on her profile view that the jawline and neck literally look like a 20, 30-year-old's, no different. And so when you put all this together, that becomes our full facial rejuvenation approach with most patients who are in their 50s and 60s. And by doing all those components together, the entire outcome ends up looking very natural and very youthful. This is a great case study of a beautiful woman who has been given her youth and her beauty and her identity back. And this is really the name of the game when it comes to facial rejuvenation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. We'll get back to you with the answers. And please don't forget to subscribe. That's the way we're able to communicate with you, and as we produce more and more videos with these educational and opportunities to see how facial rejuvenation can change lives. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed it.